Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, Tangela. How are you doing? I'm so excited to see you this morning. Uh, you were live at the workshop. You have to let me know your comments down below. Like, how did the workshop go? I'm really interested to hear your input, Tangela, of how you enjoyed the workshop. And let me know any questions that you have. We're gonna really be able to like share everybody's questions. That is my primary goal, is to answer all questions. I know the workshop was jam packed with all different things of how to simplify. I really was able to break down my framework. So let me know if you have any questions. But I'm so excited that you are here, Tangela. Hello, hello, hello. For you enjoyed it, yay! What was your biggest takeaway as far as like what you were able to like take and implement exactly? Let me know that. Good morning, good morning, good morning, Angela. Thanks for tuning in. I'm gonna give it 2 seconds. I am letting everybody just kind of welcome everybody. If you have any questions, go ahead and drop it. So I'm going to be going over um, my new program, Teaching by Design, and also really answering questions. That is what I want to do today, is answer everybody's questions, any questions people may have that did attend a workshop, did not get the opportunity to attend the workshop. For those of you guys that don't know, I did have a complete workshop all on how to simplify teaching without the overwhelm. And in that workshop, I explained my three-part framework. And pretty much my new program, Teaching by Design, goes in depth, and I really kind of take you through each phase of the framework. So, if you haven't already, please make sure you watch the entire replay. I have that link down below in the description so that you can kind of catch up and watch the replay. I am, for some unknown reason, it is not allowing that play. Okay. All right. So let me first start off by hearing from you guys in the comments. I think, and whether if you're a parent, homeschool parent, I know Tangela is a homeschooling mom. Angela, what about you? Just kind of let me know if you guys are teachers or parents. Um, and so I just wanted to really just kind of be very informal. It's not allowing me to share my screen. That is really bothering me, y'all. It's not allowing me to share my screen whatsoever. Um, so I'm getting a little worried. I'm actually in Indiana. So this is my first live stream. You're watching play. Yay. This is my first live stream ever doing out of state. So I'm actually in Indiana and I'm helping my mother move. Believe it or not. So we are, although we're moving her down the street, I'm actually from Indiana. For those that did not know, I am from Indiana, and so my mom still has her storage. So like a few years ago, my grandmother got sick, and we literally had to move all my mom's stuff in storage, and then move all my grandmother's stuff. My grandmother passed away in storage in Georgia, so we kind of have stuff in Georgia. We have stuff here, just kind of like all over everywhere, all over the United States, right? And so now it's time to get my mom her own place. So I'm here packing. You could tell it's cold. Look, I have my sweatpants on, sweater. So it is very cold coming from Georgia in the warmth. So definitely different. All right, so let me just kind of break down. You're not able to see the slides, and I'm definitely apologize for not for this. I'm so used to my own at home studio. But I just want to kind of go over the importance of having a systematic approach to teaching, because the systematic approach to teaching is really what is going to simplify your stress, right? Having a system set in place, like a step by step system, is the key to reducing your stress. At any time while I'm just explaining this, if you have a question, please do not hesitate. Go ahead and drop your question down in the chat box because I want to make sure I answer every question you have. And I also want to make sure that I am able to cater to what it is that you need. So this is a brand new program, but I really wanted to first just start off by just giving you some facts. Just giving you some facts. So, did you know that the average person spends 7 hours per week just searching for instructional resources? This is both paid and free resources. In addition to the 7 hours per week just searching for resources, they spend 5 hours per week actually creating their own materials. So do the math 7 plus 5, that is 12 hours per week. Well, there's 4 weeks per month. There's 10 months per, school year. And there's about 30 years that the average, teacher, if you're a teacher, would spend, right? So that's over 14,000 hours of just planning. That's 600 days, almost 2 years, all spent on planning, which is ridiculous. Nobody needs to spend that much time on planning. Um, and that was honestly me. That was me. I started off teaching. I did not know, what I was doing. Both teaching in the classroom and teaching at home. I mean, when I had my daughter, I was like, preschool. I've never taught preschool. I taught pre-K, not preschool. So I went through that. I went through the whole phase of feeling like, oh my goodness, it's just so much. I went through the phase of me spending hours and hours of time after work, literally looking up resources, looking up lessons, trying to find what to do. So I went through that phase of not knowing what to do, really feeling lack of guidance, lack of support. Just needed like a system, some clarity. Wanted to feel like I actually was doing the right thing. I know lots of times we feel like we don't know what we're doing, or that's just what we feel like. But that I've been there. You guys know, like I have been there. And on average, like a lot of teachers and a lot of parents end up spending so much money. The average person actually spends a minimum of $500 per year simply on teachers pay teachers, just looking up lessons and resources. But if you do $500 per year for 30 years, that's $15,000. That's ridiculous. Nobody needs to be spending that much money just looking for lessons and looking for activities. So I have been there. I've been the person that did not have the clarity. I've been the person that did not have the guidance. I've been the person that was just trying to find resources, right? So this is why I've listened to you guys, and I'm like, oh my goodness, that was me. That was me as a parent. Especially like once I had my daughter and she started hitting preschool, like I'm so used to teaching people like how to read, like I can do that. But when it comes to like letter recognition, number recognition, shapes, opposites, patterns, I never explicitly taught that for the preschool level. I taught it for pre-K. Yes, granted, it's the same things, but normally when they reach pre-K, it is a lot of like learn through play, and you do the same thing, repetition every single day. You're doing the same thing over and over and over again. And so, like, I was doing, my at home learning, I was very inconsistent with it. Like, I would be able to do it on some days, other days I was very busy, and I had to find a system that worked for me because I was kind of all over. I felt like I was like a squirrel trying to chase all the nuts, everywhere. And so I had to come up with not only what to do in my classroom, like I just explained, like how I was, like lack of clarity. I had to figure out a system. Hi, hey Tamara, that worked for me. Today we're going over. I'm going over my systematic lesson planning approach, and I'm also just answering any questions that people may have for the Teaching by Design program. Um, but I definitely went had to find a system in the classroom that worked. And what ended up working by my third year of teaching, I started creating like really a framework. Didn't know it then. didn't know it then, but like a framework of simplifying teaching. Like I started creating this banking system, and it started saving me hours. Like I used to be in school till the custodians came in every single day, and then once I started this system and I started having like this whole banking system, I was able to leave like right after the kids left. So with me, I did do one late day, which was Fridays. By late, I meant like an hour after school, converting all of my assignments, go ahead and changing all of my materials. Like Fridays were my days to like prepare for the next week. And then I was out. And when I did, I was like, more people need to know about how to do this. Like this was great. I had it, right? So that was about like the third, fourth year of teaching. And then I became a mom. And like I stated, like my daughter was like the teacher was like, "Oh, she was just average," and I'm like, "How was my daughter average?" Explain the banking system. Yes, sure. Let me finish the story, and then I'll explain the banking system. Yes, yes, yes. So I was trying to figure out like why she was just average, and I'm like, "Oh no, no." So then I started trying to do teaching from home, and what I found is the lack of consistency. So like the days where I would be at school really late, I can't come home and teach my daughter. Like there was just too much to do. And so then the lack of consistency, I saw exactly how it affected her. So I then had the idea, okay, why don't I implement what I was doing in my classroom at home? It should work. And then that's kind of when the wheels started really going for me. And I was able to not only learn a system that worked in the classroom, but also a system that works with at home teaching. And that is what I want to share with you guys today. So, I want to answer this. Said explain the banking system. All right. So, the banking system are easy systematic activities that you know are going to work. So within the program, I literally help all my clients have a banking system. So I'm kind of like giving you guys the activities. So I'm like, okay, here's like a whole plethora of games. So that's one of my bonuses is actually give the games. But with those games, so the games are you can use them with any skill, any lesson, right? And a part of a really good trick of that is I like to use things that where they're like very accessible to either worksheets or true or false or stuff like that. And you pretty much have like lessons that will work for any standard. So that's pretty much when I say create a bank, you're really creating a bank of activities that you can literally pull out. The kids know it. So you're not like re-going over the rules every 5 minutes, but the kids know it, you know it. And you can literally use it no matter like what standard you're on because there's always like for recall skills, right? That is, there's always like one right and wrong answer. So you can literally use all the games and activities for any standard, any grade, any place, like classroom, at home, everywhere, right? So with the banking system, the reason why it helps eliminate so much stress is because like instead of going online and searching, because that's what typically happens. Like if you were learning, if you were teaching, sorry, addition, right? Naturally, if you're teaching addition, you would go online, look up addition lessons. And so with the banking system, you don't really have to spend all those hours because you have a list of activities that already work. And so within the program, I teach teachers how to actually do the whole lesson plan, but the actual meat part, the engaging part of the gauging part of the lesson is really a banking system. Like you already have lessons, you just pull them out, attach the standard, test activity, bam, and you have a really fun, engaging system. A literally fun, engaging lesson that you didn't have to create from scratch. So that's kind of how the banking system portion of it works. So within teaching by design, like I literally walk teachers like and parents how to do the full lesson, but also like the glue to that lesson, which is that banking system of engaging activities that already work for anything. But we go through like exactly how to do each one, roll them out week by week. So let me explain kind of what I'm talking about for those of you guys that were not at the live workshop. Once again, if you missed the live workshop all about simplifying teaching, where I break all of this down, the link is below in the description. And if you have any questions at all, feel free to put your questions down below in the comments. I am doing a full-blown Q&A answering all your questions about the program. So with in Teaching by Design is my brand new group coaching program. I pretty much have been working with clients for over a year now, one-on-one, and I've taken pretty much everything that is in the program, and I've been working with parents that have been doing at home teaching, both working parents and homeschool parents, in addition with teachers. Now I've been working with teachers, teaching them how to teach for about 7 years now, both when I was in the classroom and outside the classroom. Yay, thanks. And so I have a, my resume is really long as far as, helping you guys teach. So I've been doing teachers for about 7 years. I started off, actually, my last 2 years of teaching, I was doing professional developments while I was teaching. And then the last 5 years, I have been literally doing that full time, breaking down curriculum, kindergarten through fifth grade. So let me answer this. It says, I have to multitask, teacher and program director. That is so much, Tamara, so many things. And I honestly don't have time to make elaborate lesson plans. Very true. What are your thoughts on doing week at a glance? So yes, I'm super big at week at a glance. And so what week at a glance is, if you guys don't know it, is pretty much where you have like all your lesson plans like on one sheet of paper. Like, here we go. But with that, so the thing though is like each lesson still has the different parts, and so that's why in Teaching by Design is I make that the lessons very easy, very systematic, almost really predictable, because the systems and things set in place are very predictable, right? Predictable but fun, predictable, fun, and simple. So yes, totally understand the whole multitasking thing. That is a lot to be a teacher and a program director. I know we've talked, and it's a lot, it's a lot, it's a lot. So week at a glance. The issue that I have with just doing week at a glance, especially if a teacher does not have training with it and they're not experienced, is so when you do week at a glance, you don't have enough details or space to put in the details. So like within a lesson, typically you have a hook of how to get the children adapted to the lesson, and then you have a breakdown of the activities. You have a portion where they're doing the activities with you, and then you have an assessment piece. But a lot of times with week at a glance, those are just like the main parts, right? And then you also have like differentiation, which is like how you're going to make how you're going to make that lesson cater to every single learning style, learning need of each child. And then extension, how do you extend your learning objective to the other children? So with all of that, it is impossible to put all of that in a week at a glance. It is impossible. Like, it really is. So like what I always do is I do the week at a glance, but it's more than just a page. It's about 3 pages, if you want to put all of that information in there. So with the really good thing about the Teaching by Design program are there's a lot of different lessons that will run on autopilot. So with those, it is easier to do the week at a glance because there's a lot of lessons that you're going to be doing the same thing every single day. You just kind of switch up the focus. So you're not actually writing all of that out in the lesson plan. So that's part of why I'm offering a training for read alouds and also close reading, because those are like the 2 biggest parts of reading, so that they become very systematic. So you're not actually writing the full blown lesson out. So let me know your input after I just let you know my input about week at a glance. Like, have you found out that you have had the same difficulties, like the lessons aren't as engaging because they don't have all the parts? Or you might find out that the kids really aren't getting it, and the kids probably aren't getting it because the lessons that are being provided don't have all of the necessary components. So Tangela, you said your problem is consistency and planning. Yes, those are like the 2 biggest issues that I have found. And I know that you're at home mom, and that is exactly what I have been a homeschool mom. And that's exactly what I have been finding with a lot of the parents that I've worked with, is those are the two things that they struggle with before working with me. Because what happens with consistency, so the reason that most of us struggle with consistency, this just accountability, that's number one. If we don't have the accountability, a lot of times it is easy for us to fall off, right? Even doing this, like you guys coming up every Friday at 9, that's kind of what keeps me going consistently. Like right now, I'm out of town and I'm like, I have to make it through. But having that accountability partner. So that's one thing I provide in Teaching by Design is the accountability part, to make sure that you're implementing it, make sure that you're on one accord, make sure that you're getting exactly what you need in order to stay consistent. And then planning. Yes, it is very hard to plan, especially if you don't know what you're doing or you're just starting off from scratch. Because I want to say in one of our lives, you said that you're a new homeschool mom. Confirm that you are new to homeschooling. Um, because I want to say you said that in one of our lives like a few weeks ago. But when you're starting off, a lot of times you don't know what to plan. And so what ends up happening is you start planning and you start planning incorrectly, or you end up just not doing it. That's another thing. It's just not doing it. But you don't want to start getting in a habit of planning incorrectly. And when I say incorrectly, I mean like just like we were trying to talk, you are now. Okay. I knew I remembered you. But when I say incorrectly, I mean like just like we were talking about with the week at a glance, you don't put all the parts to it. So then what you'll notice is like what you guys always know is what you learn first is what you learn best. Have you guys ever heard that saying? What you learn first is what you learn best. And what ends up happening is you'll start a bad habit. So then it's going to be twice as hard to correct the bad habit and start planning, implementing all of the best practices that need to be embedded into lesson planning. Um, and so really those are like the two things that I've really found, is not knowing how to plan correctly and really kind of breaking any bad habits, and consistency with a lot of the homeschool parents that I've worked with. And like I said, I've worked with homeschool parents that are full-time working, and homeschool parents that are doing it full-time. So yes, that is literally totally common. You're not in this alone. And that's exactly why I'm excited. I'm ready for you to do Teaching by Design. I'm so excited for you to do it with me. But yeah, so that's very common. So that's why I literally do the week by week. That's why we're talking throughout the week, making sure that you have everything you need to be consistent. Um, because one thing I even found out, like with a lot of the parents that I worked with last year, they're like, I need the activity. So that's why this time I'm providing the activities so that you're not actually having to go searching all the time. Like, so that was, something that I improved on that my clients last year didn't quite have. But to have the activities in order to make this whole lesson planning process as simple and easy as possible. So, yes, totally normal. I see someone said that's a common issue with many. The tasks that teachers have these days causes, yes, all over the place. Totally, totally, totally agree. We have another one says, I found out that week at a glance only gets me organized as far as what I'm going to teach. Yes. I naturally have to back pocket activities from years of experience. Okay, but even that gets inconsistent because I think it cut off your message. Oh, because there we go. I don't necessarily pair the hooks and differentiation with each lesson. I go from having a great lesson that impacted all students or a lesson that only reaches a few. Okay, yes, totally, totally understand that. And yes, that is one of the flaws with the week at a glance because it's not detailed. Like they're never detailed enough for you to have all the components of a lesson. And so that ends up being what happens. You know what to teach, but when you do that, you're kind of like teaching at a surface. And when you teach at a surface, it's very hard to reach all the students. So that's another thing that's in Teaching by Design is we go over ways to differentiate one lesson. So and even if you're like a homeschool parent, even with differentiation with one child, there's still different ways that children learn. So I teach within the program, like how do you take one lesson and literally like extend it to the different learning styles. That way, different children that learn different ways, whether they learn hands-on, whether they're audio learners, whether they're visual learners, they all have an aspect that they can grasp so that they have the opportunity to really comprehend the content. So, yes, yes, yes. All right, so let me just give you guys an overview. Keep the questions going, and I'll just continuously stop and answer the questions you guys have. So, Teaching by Design is a 6-week group coaching program. The right now we are in the season of pre-selling the program, so that's why it is at a very low price during pre-sale. It will start January 4th. We'll start the official 6 weeks. And if you can't make it live, everything will be recorded, and it will be loaded into an online portal. So you really could do it like an online course if you're not able to do it live. But the live classes will be in the evening so that everybody has access. I thought that would be the best time to do it. And it's really for people that are tired of the overwhelming feeling of lesson planning, tired of putting all these pieces together, just like we're talking about, tired of being overwhelmed, not knowing where to start, not knowing how to align tasks. I really listened to everything that you guys have been saying for the last few months when it comes to lesson planning, and really like made sure I put all the pieces together for you guys in a very simple, systematic way, right? Because like I said, for my classroom, I had it down packed, and then I made sure I started with my daughter, and then I was like, okay, I can do it both at home and in the classroom. So imagine having just imagine having lessons that are completely encouraging. For optimal engagement for children. So the children, no matter what age, no matter what level they're on, they love the activities because they're all fun. They get them going, they get them moving, they get them thinking, right? But yet you have a weekly lesson planning system, like literally a system, right? There's nothing like systems that are proven systems. But this system will literally save you hours of planning because, like I always stated with the banking system, you're not spending the time going online searching for every single lesson. Like you guys can save so much time because I'm literally teaching you. You have a bank of questions, like questions for reading, questions for math that you're not having to go pull. Like you're giving the activities, you're giving the questions, you're giving the hooks, you're giving all of that. So you're not having to literally go and search for any of that, which will save you lots and lots of time, lots and lots of energy, so that you can get your time back. And also imagine having a simple and clear path of what to teach and how to teach it. Just like we stated earlier, Tamara, you say you know what to teach, but the how to teach kind of gets left off with the whole week at a glance plan, and that is totally normal. Tangela, you stated that you just are really confused when it comes to like the scheduling of it and the planning and staying consistent. So within Teaching by Design, it is a 6-week program. So, session one, like our first week, deals with exactly what you were talking about, Tangela. I will sit with you, show you how to create your own schedule that fits your needs. I have a proven way of doing that. I have done it time and time again, worked with lots of parents doing this, and it works. It's worked for me, it's worked for my clients. I know if you watch the replay, I start sharing some of my testimonies, but one of my parents, literally session one, she was like, this is what I needed. Like this, she got super excited. Like all of them get excited, but she said, like, literally, she was like, it was worth it just session one. Like she was like, I didn't even know how to create a teaching from home environment because she just didn't understand how to do the scheduling part of it. But we really take your needs and break down how to create a consistent schedule that you're able to stay consistent with because it's catered to your needs, right? So, because that's a big roadblock. You can't have a teaching schedule. I mean, you can't do systematic teaching if you don't have a teaching schedule, right? You need some kind of time to actually teach. But we go through that, and I'll show you exactly how to have time to do explicit teaching, which you're actually doing a lesson, time to do implicit teaching, which was where your child, because you say, I know you're a homeschool mom, but your child will actually be able to literally learn on their own. I will show you how to do that, how to facilitate without actually sitting right there. We go through all of that, but we create a schedule in session one for all of that. And you'll implement that schedule. So that schedule become a part of your family. You'll have it. I promise. You'll have it down pat. And so we go over how to create your own schedule, the power of call and responses, especially if you're a teacher, but this also works for at home. So what my other clients have found out, like my call and response is very simple. But basically what a call and response is, it's a way like an attention grabber, right? So a lot of these activities and lessons are going to be very fun and engaging. You're going to have a lot of inner like movement. The more kids, the louder it's going to be. Like if you're in a classroom, you have 30 kids all running around. Imagine how loud that can be, right? So there's lots of talking, lots of movement. You need that go-to attention getter that everybody knows. That's why we do it day one so that you can implement that routine so that everybody's on one accord, right? So we go over that in session one, and I also would break down what exactly to teach. So I'm giving you what to teach week by week. So you don't have to guess what to teach and you don't have to guess when to teach, because in session one, I literally knock out both of those roadblocks. You're given a step by step, week by week. This is what you need to teach. You're given step by steps, day by day, when you're actually going to teach, and attention getters. That's all in session one, unblocking any major roadblocks that would help you from implementing and being successful in the program. So we get rid of all of that. In session two, I reveal the secrets to automaticity. So this is a part of the framework, and this is what we're talking about with like the automated lessons. You said, "Yay!" The smiley face. I love it. I love it. So within session two, then you will find out how when I say I make lessons run on autopilot, this was another game changer. So I shared one of my other clients, Charla, who this was, I mean, started off as the biggest challenge and went to her biggest reward, right? So most children really struggle with reading. And if you can't read, I'm a true believer in reading, because reading literally impacts every single thing a person will do with the rest of their lives. You can't do math without being able to read because you can't read the problems. You can't drive if you can't read. You can't put together a couch if you can't read. You can't really do a lot of things in life if you cannot read, right? So reading is very hard, but reading is also one of the things that you can have run on autopilot in your classroom and at home. And most people don't realize that. And this was the thing that I realized when I was teaching, and this is what saved me hours of time, and it also gave me very clear steps. When I was teaching my fifth graders, I had my group of fifth graders, and most of my fifth graders were on kindergarten and first grade like levels, reading levels. And I really implemented the power of close reading very strong, right? And so within session two, I teach just that exact strategy. But with my students that year, I was so amazed with these babies, so amazed. But we really developed a lot of the systems that I'm teaching today. I started this school year, but all of them, I mean, every single one of them passed a fifth grade state standardized test. And I had kids that were like 4 grades below grade level. And by the end of the year, they were all on grade level. So I was super excited for them. But within session two, I literally break down and I train you on close reads and read aloud. So read aloud is pretty much bedtime, right? So Tangela, I know you're on here. I know you're a mom. So how often do you read, like per week? How many times do you read to your child? So literally reading are what we call read alouds, right? But I teach you how to make them interactive. So I have 5 E's of engagement, which are 5 things that you implement every time you would read and do a lesson. So my 5 E's of engagement really go with anything, right? But I show my clients how to implement those 5 E's of engagement into their read alouds. And literally, it is the game changer. It is every day. Good. You read to him every single day. Awesome. So what we will work on in session two is how to take that reading every day, because it sounds like you already have a schedule for that. And I'm going to show you how to make them interactive read alouds. So by implementing the 5 E's of engagement, it will take just from basic reading to being a very interactive experience, right? And that interactive experience is how you increase comprehension, is how you also develop a love for learning, right? And it also helps with reading, right? So not it has a lot of benefits, but the interactive read alouds is really how you make reading come to life. So you already have a schedule for reading. So within session 2, we just literally take that schedule that you're already doing and bring it to life. Yes, I need that. Yes. So that's literally what we do is the 5 E's of engagement, y'all. That's woo. That's it. That's it. And then close reading. So with close reading, what close reading is where you take one passage, right? And I'll show you how to take that one passage and you will read the same story every single day. And the really good thing about that is you will then take every single day is a different focus. So this is how you really go into standard based teaching. So Tamara, I know you teach like different grade levels, right? Because we've talked about that before. So within the different grade levels with close reading, then although you'll have the same passage, what you'll do is then every single day when the focus change, the focus will then be differentiated based on the different grade levels that you have. So it will really, really, really help you be able to work smarter, not harder, and not spend so much time lesson planning because you're like, okay, we can do one passage, but then I can differentiate the different, questions and tasks that go with each day. But so that's pretty much what close reading is. You read the same lesson every single day, and you have a different focus. And I literally show you exactly how to do that, and show you how. Like this is my specialty. I'll tell you, I've been teaching teachers how to do this for probably almost my entire time teaching. So almost a decade of close reading. Because I literally developed this portion, like this way that I do it on my own. Like I went to one close reading training and then I just immediately started implementing it in my classroom. My principal came in, she was like, oh my goodness, this is game changing. And I didn't really have to plan a lot because I learned how to take that same lesson and literally boom, every single day was a different focus, and every focus was related to the standards that they needed to learn. So I wasn't really planning as much. I was being strategic about it. So when I say strategic system, this is what I mean. Or a systematic system is like the thought behind every single thing. So good. So your child gets bored, your son gets bored very easily. This is perfect. So that's why the 5 E's of engagement is definitely for him. And I actually found that out a lot with my clients, especially my teaching clients, because I had one other client, she had a son, and he wasn't engaged at all. And I mean, like at all. Like at the beginning, you at least you're getting your son reading every day. With her son wouldn't even sit down and let her read. And we literally went over like the entire like how to actually get him to teach, how to make this things engage, the books engaging. And her biggest win was literally allowing him. He said, "You're the best, Sasha. Thank you, Isabel." Was literally getting him reading, and not only just reading, but being excited to read. Right, going from being bored and not interested to being excited to reading. I had another client who her one of her wins, because I always make everybody document their wins. That is one thing I am huge on, is documenting your wins, because your wins are what's going to get you going on the days where you don't feel motivated. The wins are going to get you going when you feel discouraged, right? And so I'd encourage all of you guys, like when you guys get teaching wins, write them down. Like write them down in a journal, have them uh, keep you going. That's fuel to the fire. But yeah, so that's totally, totally, totally normal. All right, so in session 3 is all about discovering the framework. It is all about discovering the secret to developing engaging lessons without the hours of planning and the systematic system. So earlier we talked about the whole, like all the different parts to a lesson. There are lots of different parts to having a very engaging lesson. In fact, there are 12 parts to a lesson. So there's 12 things that I show all my clients that every lesson must have, but I'm showing you guys how to do it in a very quick, systematic way. And a part of this session is I'll literally go from, that's why this program is perfect for whether you're beginning or you're already have been doing this. But I'll show you exactly how to find the standards from where you live, and how to break down a standard that takes you with 3 minutes. 3 minutes to break down a standard. So a standard is pretty much what kids have to learn. And when we break down that standard, we really break down to learning objectives. Okay, what is it that my child or my children have to learn according to the standard? And then I teach the feared framework. So this is I have two secrets, y'all. I have feared framework. And what the feared framework goes through is how to literally find already made lessons, and then align them and tweak them to your needs. Apply the banking system that I talked about, and then add rigor and differentiation and extending activities, in order to cater to all the needs of your child or your children. So this is framework goes through all of that, how to pretty much recreate the wheel. I've been talking about in a lot of my lives. I told you guys that one of the biggest mistakes that I made was not recreating the wheel. So I learned how to recreate the wheel. One of my tips that I'm always giving you guys is recreate the wheel. So that's pretty much what I teach in session 3 and session 4, is how to take the feared framework and recreate the wheel, how to tweak lessons that are already done, make them your own, how to align objectives. So if you find a lesson, if you already have a lesson, I know Tamara, you say you have stuff from way back when, but I'll show you how to align it to what you actually need to teach. Believe it or not, most lessons that are out there are not aligned to the standards. They're not. People that haven't really been in the classroom, they make these lessons and they have nothing to do with the end goal in mind. So that was one thing that I found. A lot of teachers said that like this stuff doesn't align. Well, by the time the kids get to the test, you're like, they bombed the test simply because they did not know what to do. So I literally walk you through how to align your activities, how to add differentiation, how to do all that within the feared framework. Yay, said yes. Yay, yay, yay. In session 5, I break down planning for independence. So earlier, Tamara, when I was like, for parents, when we do the schedule, how I break down for the time for you to explicitly teach, that is the time where you are actually, one on one with your son and you're literally teaching the lesson, or you're one on one with your children and you're teaching. Those are everything we've talked about. But then there's another part to this where your child or your children are actually teaching themselves, right? So this is when they have time to literally do it yourself. So it's like the independent time. If you're home, if you're a teacher, then pretty much your center time, your homework time, like the times where you're not in front of your child or your children. So with this is when I teach my third part of my framework, which is the facilitating time. One thing that a lot of people don't realize is not only is planning for independence, but there's another thing that you can do, which is when you're introducing a skill or concept, you have them teach themselves. Literally. So this is one thing that I became a master at around my third year of teaching. I started doing all these activities where my kids taught themselves. But a part of that is to know when to do it. So within the framework, I show exactly when you can actually have kids literally teach themselves, where you're not having to like do it all the time. Like, oh, brand new standard. There's a lot of things that they can actually teach themselves from the beginning, and you can become the guide or the facilitator, and you're not actually having to teach. So we go over how to do that. I also get one of my bonuses, so make sure you guys get into teaching by design before the bonuses expire. But one of the bonuses is actually all the activities in order to do this part. So I'm literally giving you all of the facilitating activities. So you're like, I'm teaching you when to do this, and then I'm also giving you what to do. Like you'll have the activities to then facilitate, right? And then so I teach you when to facilitate lessons, and then I teach you the quickest ways to teach standards. So when you're able to become a facilitator instead of actually teaching, I literally teach you the quickest ways to do that, and I'm giving you all of the activities. That's one of my bonuses. Are quick and easy activities that you can literally do in order for children to teach themselves. Literally. So game changer, and you can do it whether you're dealing with one child or whether you're dealing with 30, right? The other part of independence, is literally learning how to monitor while children are doing things by themselves. So we cover that and all the planning for independence. And then last but not least, session 6 is all about developing ongoing engagement. So at this part of the program, you've been doing all of these. You've been doing the close reads, you've been doing the read aloud, you've been doing the feared framework, you've been doing the banking system, you have been doing all of this for weeks, and now it becomes second nature. That's why it's rolled out like this. You've been mastering it. You're like, okay, I can do this. It's not as much as I thought. Okay, I got this. And we're gonna actually track how much time it takes you to do this, so that you can see how you can do all of this in a very short amount of time. And so this is when I'll then implement my 7-step planning cycle. But I'm not introducing anything new. We're just being very systematic about all the things that you're actually doing by this point of the program. And I'll also be going over how to create and implement like union planning projects, like those end goal things that will also shorten the amount of time. So those are also, look, hint, hint, things you can implement in order to literally cut the planning process in half by being strategic about what you're actually going to teach and how you go about it. So those are like the 6 weeks, all broken down. I'm really excited about the program. I'm really excited to put everything that I've been helping my clients with, helping you guys with things that I did in the classroom, things that I've helped teachers do, things that, I mean, like everything. It's a one very systematic system, and really be able to give you guys every aspect. It really is, when I say a simple step by step plug and play system, it goes over lesson planning, but it goes over so much more. Schedules, everything. Literally, it's like teaching in a box, like teaching for beginners, teaching for veterans, being very, very systematic. And it is a systematic way to teach, that literally cuts down the overwhelm and gives you clarity, gives you the steps. So I pretty much give you everything you need. And so some of the bonuses that are only good from now until Monday, bonuses get removed Monday at 11:55 p.m. The replay is only good for today. So if you want to watch the replay of the entire framework, the link is down below in the description, and the replay goes away today. So make sure you watch that replay. But some of the bonuses within the Teaching by Design program, bonus number one is I have a plug and play fill in the blank questions. So when we're doing the lessons, you're doing a lesson and you're just making up questions, and I'm giving you the questions. I'm giving you exactly what to say. So I'm giving you reading questions, and the reading questions go over what to say before you read, what to say during your read, what you say after. And you literally pick a question and say it that can apply to any book. Like, it's perfect. So I'm giving you all the reading questions, like, to work for comprehension. I'm also giving you math assessing and advancing questions. So what that means is, math assessing questions is, if you have, your child, if you see a child and they have a question wrong, you do not say, baby, that is not right, do that problem again. Because guess what, they don't know how to do it, so that's why it's wrong. So you would literally use one of my assessing questions, and you would say the assessing question to get them thinking, oh, maybe this isn't right. What could I do to correct it? And then an advancing question is when a child has the answer right, you would say an advancing question that makes them then advance to the next level. So this is kind of how you push them to go to the next level. So you literally have all three of those plug and play bank of lesson planning questions. In addition to that, I'm giving you the ready-made activities that we kind of already talked about. And a part of that is what I talked about earlier. You're giving converting worksheets into engaging activities. And so literally those are all of the really simple activities that I was teaching you guys earlier that go with that banking system. Those are all the activities that I've done. I love to do work with any child all the time. Kids absolutely love them. So you'll be getting all those activities. You'll also be giving the quick and easy engaging activities. And these are things that really help with the facilitating portion of the framework. So these are activities that get kids learning by themselves, that you can easily implement, whether you're at home, whether you're in a classroom. Like, these are all of those kind of activities that we discussed earlier within the whole facilitating part. Then I'm also giving you more and more bonuses. So you'll also be given editable differentiated tasks. And so what that means is, you'll be having a Google document so that you can literally take out, or like, there's something you don't want, you can take it out, make it your own. I am all about recreating the wheel, you guys. Work smarter, not harder. So then you'll be actually given a choice board. I have a very differentiated choice board that already, like, I'll show you in the program how to create your own choice board, but then I'm giving you a choice board that's already done to fit every single learning need and the different learning styles. So yay, love the advancing and assessing and advancing questions. Yeah, these are game changers. And a lot of people don't understand how they work in math. And we a lot of times just say, baby, the answer is not 8, do it again. But that's actually completely against Common Core, and it doesn't put the learning back in the children's hands. So this is why I'm giving you the questions and showing you how to implement these things. So yay, glad you like it. In addition, you'll also be given an edible project template. So projects are another way. I came from a PBL school, but before I even worked in there, when I was out of school, Title I school, I was like the only teacher that did projects religiously, right? And I saw the benefit of it. Projects actually, kids are able to retain 90% of what they actually do within a project versus they're only able to comprehend about 50% of what they get in a single lesson. But the reason that they're able to understand 90% is because when a child teaches something, or they go through the learning themselves, they're able to comprehend more because the learning is more on them. So I give you a whole project template, like plug and play project, where you just kind of plug in the fill in the blanks of what it is that you're teaching, and you have the end goal. So you have that all right there. You'll also have access. One of my things that you guys know on my YouTube channel, I always have all of these digital learning games. So you also have access to all. This is a growing bundle, so you have access to all the digital learning games that are applicable to your grade or your child's age or whatever it is that you need. It's like a whole age range. So I actually have them grouped into different age ranges. So you, of course, you'll either have like pre-K through kindergarten, or first and second, or third through fifth. So, say more info. You said on that. Which part? Which part is that? The digital learning games. Is that what you're talking about? But with the digital learning games, they work whether you're working with one kid. I've been doing my own version of it. Of which one projects? Because you say you've been doing your own version of it. Let me know. Let me know if that's projects or the learning games. But with the digital learning games, if you're in a classroom, quick and easy, you just display them. They're all like videos that I literally go over the directions for you, and kids literally do them on their own. And while the video just plays, it's a game. And all of them always come with some sort of assessing sheet. So I have all sight words, literally pre-K to third grade sight word games. I have math games, everything, y'all. But it's a growing bundle, so I'm continuing making games. So you'll literally have access to all my future games as well. Project based learning. Oh yes, it's great. So with project based learning, like this, what's in the program is just one example of one project template. But with project based learning, simply you design a question with the end goal in mind, and then the kids actually have to create their own way of solving a problem. So it'll be like, how do you normally all the questions relate to the environment, and then the kids actually figure out a process or a project of how to answer that question and find a solution to their problem. So that's just like really quick synopsis, but we can definitely talk more about project based learning. So you have the digital learning games, and then the last bonus. I told you I'm giving you a lot of bonuses. The last bonus is like a Facebook group, which just like one of the things that my clients always said is they absolutely loved having access to me throughout the program. That was one of the feedbacks that I continued to get is they liked being able to get all of their questions answered when they weren't live in the session. So this allows you to be have access to the answers to any of your questions, and that goes back to Tangela, what you were talking about as far as the accountability part of staying consistent. This is the key to get you consistent so that you know that you have a person that is right there cheering you on. You have a person that's right there to answer any questions. And that a lot of times is what keeps us accountable. So, as a recap, within the Teaching by Design program, you get 6 weeks of group coaching trainings. And then you have access to all of them forever as long as the program lives within the digital platform. So you not only are getting the program live, but then you're also getting any says consistency matters. Yes, consistency does matter. But you also have access to every update and improvement I'll ever make on the program. So you're pretty much getting early access into everything that I'll be adding to the program as the program continues to develop. You'll get weekly Q&As on our live calls. So you'll actually get all your questions answered. So you're literally like, that is very important. I'm in the middle of a program now with the coach. He said, "Yay!" I'm in the program now, and I never understood the importance of like Q&A. And it's very important. Like it is really key, especially for like people like me. Like I'm one that I'm very analytical, so I think a lot. Like I'm always thinking, always trying to problem solve, and so I need a way to get my questions answered. So that is why I want the weekly Q&A to make sure everybody's on one accord, because that is me. I'm like, please, I come up with a lot of questions, and so I definitely want a way to have everybody get their questions answered as well. You also have a lot of templates. There's a lot of templates and exercises and examples that come along with the program that I have not even explained, right? So there's a lot of templates that go within the 6 weeks and the 6 trainings. You will literally have a worksheet or a template or an example to get you through every part of this program. Like I said, it really is a step-by-step plug and play system so that I can make this experience as simple and stress free as possible. I really want people to work smarter and not harder, not to go through the years of being inconsistent, so that we can really shape the future. Because at the end of the day, it's all about the children. You'll also be given the close read and read aloud training. So that's how you have this automated approach to teaching where you can have stuff run on autopilot. You'll be given all the activities, the plug and play activities, the questions, the digital learning games, Facebook community. You'll also be given a certificate of completion of professional development. So that's also in there for all my teachers that are like, I have to do PDs. So you'll have that. And I also have a money back guarantee. If you start the program, you're like, oh my goodness, for any reason, there is a money back guarantee. So I'm really excited. I really, really, really hope that I see you guys in the program. I'm really excited to work with all of you guys. So there's that. That is teaching by design. If you're one that really wants that one-on-one access to me, there is a one-on-one upgrade that you can do. That just gives you more time to work with me one-on-one. So that is an upgrade that you can do. And with that upgrade, I'll just kind of do a little recap. You'll get all the group everything that we said you have. But then you'll also be able to get an additional weekly call with me, where we actually go over implementing what we just did in the group call. So you learn, and then you have another call where you're able to implement. Right, so it's like 2 calls per week. Which what that I learned from that, because that's what I'm doing right now. Like I said, I'm in a program doing it, and I was like, I love this, because you're telling me what to do one day. Okay, I got it, and then you are allowing me time to do it, where I can literally get all my questions answered on the spot. And then I'll also be doing trainings where we actually go through how to create a lesson plan for all my lesson plan beginners that have never even completed a lesson plan. I literally will give you a lesson plan template and train you on exactly um, how to do it and how to do it with all 12 parts of the lesson plan. I'll also be giving you my own feedback on lesson plans. So you'll actually submit 1 week worth of lesson plan after we go through this process where you kind of learn, and I'll be able to give you feedback. So you'll actually see my eyes on your lesson plans. And I also have a part there where I make you record a reading lesson. All my clients love this. They get overwhelmed at first, and then they're like, okay, I needed that. I needed the feedback. But you'll record you doing a reading lesson. So after you've been trained, then you actually record yourself doing it, and you'll get my feedback on there as well. You'll also have another training where we go over how to create rubrics. So with, projects and all of these other things, you have rubrics. So I teach you my simple, really easy way of creating a rubric using the standard to do it. So we'll do that training. And then after the 6 weeks, you'll also be given a 1 hour follow-up one-on-one consultation call with me. So this is after you've been able to do it, you've been able to implement it, you'll continue the 7-step planning cycle. you'll have another call where we can work on anything. It doesn't even have to be related to the program, but you'll get whatever it is that you need one-on-one time with me as well. So that is an upgrade. You don't need to have the upgrade in order to get the full part of the program, but I did want to offer it because well, my clients, a lot of them, they like the certain one-on-one aspects of it, so I wanted to have that available as well. So whew, I said all of that to say doors are officially open for pre-sale, and then doors will shut after Monday. The bonuses go away, so all of the great bonuses that I was talking about do go away on Monday at midnight, and then you're able to buy pre-sale through Wednesday, and then the program is completely gone for a while. Won't be selling until the doors officially open, but the price will not be this low. So the reason the price is this low is because we are during pre-sale. So that's why I'm like, go ahead and come in, work smarter, not harder, reserve your spot. I can't wait to have you guys in the program. So did you guys have any more questions about any of the bonuses, any of the training, how this best applies to what you need in your own situation? It's very adaptable, and I'm very flexible and very adaptable. At the end of the day, I want to make sure that I provide you with the resources and experience that you need in order to be successful. Because if you're not successful, then it's kind of snowballs. And what's most important is that the future is being shaped and being educated the correct way. So sounds like I'm like running for mayor right there. But no, for real, like what's most important is that the kids get what they need, and they can't get what they need if you don't get what you need, and you can't get what you need if you don't let me know what you need so that I can give it to you. So that's teaching by design. I'm super excited. Hopefully I'll see you guys in the program. The link is down below in the description. So you not only see the replay, but you just scroll down and there's the entire sales page going over everything that I said today. You'll be able to see all the sessions, the testimonials, everything. You'll be able to implement. There is a payment plan and also pay in full. The really good thing about the pay in full, if you pay in full, you'll be able to save an additional $50 or more just by doing the pay to full option. So there's also that. So there's full of bonuses, full of discounts that I'm giving you guys. Let me know if you have any questions. You can always email me at hello@everythingaja.com. So I'll also put that in the chat box. hello@everythingaja.com. There we go. So that is my email. So if you guys have any additional questions, there's my email. If you're not following me on Instagram, my Instagram is everything_Aja. And you can also DM me, ask me any other questions. I am always here to answer questions. I love answering questions. I love talking to you guys. So everything_Aja is my Instagram. So you have my Instagram, you have my email. So do not hesitate to ask questions. Go ahead and save your spot. Go ahead and grab this amazing discount, all the bonuses, everything you need. I promise you, this is what you need to simplify your life, to give you clarity of what to teach, to give you the consistency that you may be lacking so that you have the accountability, these schedules, and really, most importantly, to eliminate the overwhelm of teaching, because I do not want you guys to quit. I want you to keep this thing going. So I want to make it as simple and stress-free as possible. So yeah, there's my spiel. Hope that I see you guys in the program. Let me know if you guys have any other questions. I really, really, really appreciate those of you guys that have been on here live. I love the smiley faces. Thank you for joining me, and I will see you guys every single Friday, 9 a.m. And for all my replay watchers, hit you can type replay in the comments. I love when y'all let me know you watch the replays. All right, see you guys next Friday, and most importantly, see you guys in the program. Don't forget, the bonuses go away on Monday, so grab all your bonuses so you have all the plug and play activities and everything given to you. All right, see you guys later. So much appreciated. Yay. I'm glad you enjoyed. I hope to see you on the program, Tangela. I'm looking forward to working with you. Looking forward to working with you. You said great info today. Oh, I'm glad I was able to help you. And so we have to work about on your week at a glance lesson plans and make them as effective as possible. All right. Thank you, ladies. See you later.